Unos, Dios, tres.
Isn't that the start of that U2 song?
Hispanic singers now going to jail for tax evasion.
Not Shakira.
There's so many people going to jail
So
from...
many. Oh my God, just do your taxes, people.
Oh, don't talk about taxes. Taxes are the worst thing on this planet. Funny, we were doing a little document last night, and my wife and I are sitting there, and it's like anonymous platypus is typing on this document, and my name was anonymous Wolverine.
Wolverine, yeah. So for context, this is the document that we share for the episode. So we both put notes in, so we know what we're talking about. And I don't know why it was coming up with that. There might be people in like land of Google that use Google Docs and know why.
Oh, it could just give us our own names. But today, yes, we're back. Episode 6 went live last night.
Yeah.
It's good to see that go live. So as of recording, hopefully this comes out in a few days. I know one of the things we're trying to do is make sure that we release this in time and, context. But of course, let us know in the comments below what you'd like us to talk about, any topics. Because I think you and I both really want to make these episodes a bit more topical so we can get into discussion and
completely.
research topics. I know you're really into that.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. And
Any future ideas or topics that you've always wanted to speak about?
Oh, there's always a lot of... I just want to get more people involved. I think that's my biggest thing. I think it'd be really fun to chat to some people that would add value to the show.
100%. I think the topics that we'd like to speak about in the future is like you mentioned something before. It's like why Wenger became such a rival to Ferguson. And I think I'd like to make a video where we talk about that and get into depth of, the whys, the whats, the whens. Anything that on top of your mind that you can think of football related, like that's a massive topic.
I'd love to, go back into the archives and maybe even understand why certain people support certain clubs in Australia, because it's a bit of a different connection here, right?
I'm passionate about that too.
Yeah, correct. So I think it would be awesome to see the origins. I know we spoke about it in, I think, one of the earlier episodes. Of why everyone supports the club, and then tap back into even further, the videos and maybe even some live highlights and flashbacks and stuff from games gone by, because I reckon that would be insane.
100%. I'm just turning my do not disturb off. That literally just turned off everything. I think today we've got a few topics, and as always, make sure to subscribe and like to all the socials, either Ultra Football, PFC, or myself at Talking Shirt. Today, so we do have the 3 Lions behind us and that other trash kit. Did you watch the game? It was pretty early. It was 2 a.m. I know it's pretty hard with you with the little one.
No. So I caught up after. I think it was. I actually was awake. I woke up and I just saw the results. So I was like, "Oh, watch the highlights, Bob." Yeah. Lionesses did so well. Unbelievable. Amazing tournament. To be fair, that from start to finish, they were probably the front runner.
Yeah.
And I know UK media always give whether it's the men's or the women's team a big pump up.
There's always a lot of pressure for the 3 Lions.
Completely. Actually, I like the fact that there was a few tweets floating around that were giving stick to Tottenham, and they're like, proof that Gareth Southgate needs to get rid of any Tottenham players in the squad, because this Lioness squad went through the whole way without having any Tottenham players.
Yeah, and I heard that the coach played the same lineup every game.
Really?
So I just don't know how to deal with that injuries.
Yeah, wow.
I was lucky enough to be in the UK for a few days, actually only 8 hours. But I remember going to my hotel, and when I was going to bed that night, the game was on TV. I think there was a game. I think it was one of the host grounds was Man City's training ground, which to me kind of annoyed me. The fact that they've got these beautiful stadiums, they're playing at Wembley, and then I think it was Iceland or someone were playing at Man City's training ground, which it's pretty big compared to Australia's football grounds. Like I think it's like 10,000 seaters.
Yeah, which is still considerable. Which is, I guess, the challenge is right. You're getting these teams play from countries that probably don't have the support.
Travelling fans.
Yeah, that England does,
Post-COVID.
right? Yeah, that's the challenge. If they're filling the stadium, then obviously there's a call for a bigger facility.
Of course, they played Old Trafford tonight with the 3 Lions. I think one of their first games. But overall, look, I think the girls winning the Euros is a massive for football in the UK, but globally.
Huge.
And I think also for England, I think they finally showed that it's not just the men's team. And I'm really excited for the World Cup in that sense, because now a lot of people will be watching, I think, what's going to happen in Australia.
Yeah.
To be honest, and I'm not just saying this for context of this story and us talking today, but although I'm excited for Qatar, I'm more so excited for next year's World Cup in Australia, because I get to sort of see a generational change in the sort of that impact that football can do on our generation and our kids and their kids in the future. Would you agree?
The landscape of women's football is going to change completely, especially because we're the host nation.
Not just that. I just feel like we're in our early 30s. So when we're growing up, I think when we're like in our 10s, to 11s, even younger, maybe 7s and 8s, football was in a different world, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at it then and looking at it now, like we look at photos of, like, say, Wayne Rooney and his early days when he was 16 or 17 at Everton, and we look at the football back then, like how terrible the grounds were, like mud.
So
like
different.
some of the games you watch it and you're like, how are they playing on that pitch compared to now, or even the style of play?
Yeah.
And we look at the way now how it's modernized, but I think even for women's football, I think we're going to watch it now, but what we're witnessing now is going to be a massive impact for the future.
Yeah, 100%. I think, every time there is a big event, there's always like a spike in attendance, playing, a spike in participation.
Everything.
And there's always a big shift, I think, which we saw after the Asian Cup success in 2015. The backlash of that was obviously there's a lot of money injected into into football in general, right? Because there's, the way they distribute those funds sort of gets, handled a little bit more intricately than just dumping it into the men's national team. And I think there's going to be a really good backlash because of the World Cup being here, though. Whether there's success from the Matildas end of things, that's yet to be seen, right? Yeah, there's yet to be seen. But I think it's still going to be an amazing tournament. I wouldn't say I'm more excited for it than the World Cup in Qatar, but I think it's definitely equal. They're on par for me. Yeah.
I think when it comes to that moment, it's going to be both different sort of momental feelings.
Yeah,
I'm excited for the World Cup for both of them.
Yeah.
But look, again, it's a lot of pressure for us to host it. You were mentioning the prize pool and I think Australia distributed across Australia, and one of the pictures near me it says they're donated by the winnings of Australia's
which is
team
cool.
in Asia
Yeah,
Cup.
that's great.
Talking about the prize money and stuff, did you see Alphonso Davies on Twitter this morning?
No, what happened?
So he tweeted saying that he's thankful as a migrant immigrant and also refugee moving to Canada, and Canada giving him the sort of freedom to become a Canadian. He's saying that as of today, he's announcing that all the prize money or anything that he gets earnings from the World Cup will be donated to charity.
Yeah, nice.
Which is amazing because these footballers make a lot of money in their prime. I think a lot of the top players, Alfonso, Bayern Munich.
Yeah, correct.
There's
easier
other
for them to
Canadian
make that.
players that probably need that money for their life because they're playing maybe Montreal. No disrespect to them.
No, but they're probably making a more of a modest income.
Exactly.
Compared to hundreds of thousands of euros
Alphonso
per week.
Davies is pretty on the par to be one of the best Canadian players. But yeah, what do you think about that?
I think it's great. Like, it's good that I think there is a lot of players that would go and fly under the radar in this sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players that give back to their communities. Like, I know there's always stuff about Sadio Mane that's gone and built a few things.
The guy's literally building the whole new civilization there for everyone.
Yeah, there was another player.
He's doing so much for them.
I think there was another African player. I'm thinking either Samuel Eto'o or someone else. Possibly. I feel like I'm either thinking Cameroonian or Ivorian.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one, but I know there was someone that did like an obscene amount for their local community. And then you've got guys like Flamini that go and transcend science. So it's like, it's different again.
Yeah, wait, Flamini, he's the one that donated to like this science. Like he
invested,
I think he's a pretty smart guy, but he does not he didn't do the equations and all that sort of stuff. And like he invested into a company that became
huge.
Yeah,
he ended up making more money outside of football.
I think he was one of the richest footballers outside of football, which is a great story.
Insane.
It could be a topic for us.
True. It says a lot about the landscape of the whole medicinal scene, I guess. Talking about players, obviously Lewa made a few comments during the week. I know you were pretty interested in this whole saga, your sort of club versus player versus club situation. I'll let you explain what sort of happened with that.
So they just finished their US tour, and I was reading that a lot of the players, even Chelsea players, are complaining that their US tour has been too long, and they're feeling a bit of fatigue. We're seeing what's happening in Barcelona. Some of the players are complaining about their wages and stuff. They're signing players. I don't know how. There's rumours that Depay and De Jong want to stay, but they have to go to allow players like Lua to sign on.
Yeah.
Kerfuffle. I honestly don't understand. So Lewandowski apparently had an interview, and again, there's rumours going that, like, there's a recording of him saying it. I think there was a saying where he goes, "My dad taught me not to close the door with my butt."
Yeah.
And that's sort of a reference to saying, like, never, like, close doors in a disrespectful way.
Yeah, don't burn your bridges, that kind of,
Exactly.
that kind of thing.
I'm sure Austrian, Polish, that sort of region, German, they have different ways of, humour and what they say. So a lot of the Americans at ESPN took that as an offensive matter, and they made this story up. And I think, again, I listen to ESPN podcasts just because sometimes they just scream for no reason. And I love listening to them.
Emphasis, right?
Gab Marcotti and all these guys. And it's just like, what? So my topic for you quickly today was Do you think that journalists make stories up for the good of like football, or do you think they are such a toxic sort of? Again, what we're doing today is pretty much on the same path.
We're pumping it up, yeah.
We don't get that many viewers like they do, 1.2 million or something.
Yeah.
But do you think that what Lewandowski said was bad, good, and do you think that journalists can ruin the way football is?
I think it was definitely taken out of context. I think what he was saying and what was interpreted in English, I think, is two different things. And I think that is a big problem too. The fact that, sayings and slang and, in specific languages, when directly translated, makes no sense. Like
You're the king of translations.
Oh my god! But you would know, right? Like having a different language outside of English in your heritage, when you directly translate
a
word for word what that means.
Yeah.
It does not mean anything like what it really is supposed to contextually say.
Yeah.
Right? And I know, like with an Italian background, a lot of the words that they say are almost like backwards, like quite literally backwards. So instead of saying it's a big table, it would be like the table's big.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, the funny story in Macedonian, if I was to say to you, you're a tikva, it means you're a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Which in English is pretty like, oh, you're a pumpkin. But in Macedonian or Balkan, if you say to someone you're a pumpkin, it's like you're dense like a pumpkin. Like it's an offensive matter. You get me?
You're thick in the
head.
head.
Yeah, you're thick in the head.
Yeah.
So I think that's a biggest issue about translations. You could call someone such a nice thing in English, but if you were to translate it, so for example, if you go to that person's house and you say to the mother of your future in-law, you're like the in-law, sorry, and you're like, oh, you're cute like a pumpkin, and then you translate it in their language. It's like, oh, what did they call me? And it's like, yeah, he called you a pumpkin, and she'll get offended. So
I love this. It's so good.
I think that's what Lewandowski was probably trying to say.
We had a similar situation growing up as kids. We were close with a Greek family, and mum being Italian and then her best friend being Greek. They would sort of cross over with different languages, like the two different languages quite frequently. And the funniest one was, I think mum was cooking and she said patata, right, which is potato, right? And her friend starts breaking out like in hysterics. She's like, "What do you mean you're cooking patata? Patata in Greek is the female reproductive organ." Apparently, I don't know. I don't speak Greek, but maybe someone can verify in the comments. But anyway, circling back to Lewandowski.
Look, I think what Lewis said, it's just the thing, like he left Bayern Munich. I know Oliver Kahn was pretty annoyed and he tried his best to sort of ease the situations. The Bayern fans don't seem upset. No one seems upset. It's pretty much this footballer wants to move on. He wants to play football. He's close to his retirement.
Yeah.
And he's just chasing more glory for himself in a sense that it's not an egotistical way, but I think Lua just wants to play.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think, if you're a Bayern fan, you sort of look at it and you're like, he's at a point in his career where he's been phenomenal for us. Like, you don't get close to Ballon d'Or, for nothing, right?
It's unfortunate, the two players in his generation.
Of course, right? And it's going to be a freak accident. Like, you look at, Ballon d'Ors prior to them, and it was Jack. The top six players were all elite.
Kaká won. A great footballer, but there's many other players that could have won at that
Heaps.
generation.
But
There's one player who won it. There's one player, I was like, how did he win it?
Michael Owen.
Did he win it?
Yeah, 2001.
Oh.
Yeah, but he was incredible those years. So he was like Euro 2000. I think it was into the Liverpool season, which they won. I think FA Cup. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I think that's around the time when he scored that ridiculous goal against Argentina too.
The one thing I'm going to mention every episode, I have to make a Love Island reference. What's it called? So the only thing that Owen didn't win this time was Love Island because Gemma Owen.
Did she win?
Breaking news. She came third or second.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's one thing Owen.
He's got on his daughter one title more. I think he's actually got a few more titles.
And then the second topic is, look, journalists are journalists. They make a story, they sell the story, they promote a story. What ESPN does is pretty toxic. I don't like how they do it. It's almost like TMZ, where it's like, oh, hot fire, here we go, talk about it now, scream. And they always speak about Ronaldo. It's like, let the guy just vanish. Like, just let him, like, no one, anyways.
It was funny. I was listening to the Here We Go podcast this morning. With it's Fabrizio Romano's.
Yeah. We listened to that.
It's funny. It's good. Like the guys are really informative. I think if they speak English too, and it's obviously their second language. So there was a few player names that I was like trying to listen into. I couldn't really get, but they mentioned Ronaldo, and they both, like the host and Fabrizio, kind of laugh like more information about Ronaldo that's gone nowhere. Like, and it's just funny how much media attention it gets. And even they were like, nothing's eventuated, nothing's happened yet. Like,
what do you think's gonna happen?
I think he's gonna have to stay. I don't think he's got a choice. But I would love to see him go to Porto. Lisbon.
Nah. But I don't think he'll go to Lisbon. I think the club can't afford it. And the Portuguese league isn't at all like such a finishing touch for him.
But it would be nice. I think it's sentimental.
People always say he's going to get MLS. There's no chance he'll go to America. There's no way legally he's allowed to go to America. He's got that sort of
complications.
I don't want to say it, but like he's done bad things.
Yeah.
And he needs to own up to it and go to court for that. Wherever he goes, he just needs to stop making this sort of situation for the club. There's so many players that want to play football in that club.
Yeah, I think this is kind of going back to what we were saying about Lewandowski, though. I think there's like media interpretation feeding what we are perceiving as his opinion.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more to it. Like, he came out and tweeted something the other day, and it was a bit more like, you guys have nothing better to do but talk about me.
He left before the game even finished against Rayo Vallecano.
That's concerning. Like, even as a club, surely you police that and say, no, that's not on. Like, stay until the final whistle, then go.
He needs to go.
I think so too. I think, I don't know. I don't think he's going to add any value. I think you guys are in a stage where you're rebuilding. You don't need that kind of a player.
We don't need his head running around just having a sook every time. Like, look, again, on his good day, I'll be celebrating. On his bad day, I'll be celebrating him. But I just feel like this team, the coach, needs to play football and stop the drama. That's been the biggest issue at this club. Every year since Ferguson's left, again, Ferguson wasn't the best coach towards his end. He had a few mess-ups. I will never forget that last game against West Bromwich Albion was like 5-4. Like, there's just so many things that happen. I think he needs to go. Will he go this season? No, I think he's going to end his career there. Or mid-season, he might go on a loan. And that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one because he's still in contract. Like, that's the biggest dilemma.
Look, best case scenario for him, goes to loan to Sporting. We pay his wages. That's it.
Yeah, but I guess from a financial sense, like, it's not ideal because it's so expensive still, right? It's 380,000.
Less drama for the club. More players like Hannibal and Zidane.
Yeah, well, speaking of Premier League, obviously that's segues into our next topic. Predictions. How do you think this season? I know obviously there's still a bit of transfer movement to go, and then
Well, you go first because you've got a pretty annoying first four. Again, we're not talking about the whole thing. We're just talking about the top four.
Yes. I think I might go backwards. Actually, I might go from 4 upwards. I think Arsenal were I think on the rebuild, and I think they're going to be very close to top 4.
I think you're reading my one. Oh, you're reading.
No, I'm going backwards. But I don't think they're going to make it. So
okay.
I think they look like they're in a stable position now. I think they're going to sign a few more better players. They've already signed some good players. I think if they stop taking sloppy seconds, they might be a little bit better because obviously taking on Jesus, Zinchenko, and a few others. But I think they're gonna do well, but not good enough for my top 4. Fourth, I've got City. I think City are in a bit of a weird position. I know they've offloaded a few players. Obviously, they've signed Haaland. It's hard to say. There's rumours of Bernardo Silva going to Barcelona as well because Xavi apparently is a big fan. Whether that eventuates too, I think he would be a ridiculous loss. Obviously, they've still got the depth. It's hard to write them off. I don't know. I'm kind of wanting them to come fourth because I'm sick of seeing them succeed. Who have you got at fourth?
No, you continue.
You want me to continue? Okay.
Yeah, finish your whole thing.
Tottenham, I think, have had an amazing transfer window. They've on the verge of letting a few extra players go. I think Lo Celso's on the way out. I was reading about, obviously, Bergwijn went to Ajax. And then, obviously all these great inclusions. Richarlison, Fraser Foster, Perisic, Basuma, Bentancur, like they're not average players. And obviously, the coaching staff there have gone and hunted down specific players in need. And I think I was even reading this morning that Harry Winks might be on the way out, which I thought was pretty interesting.
I thought he retired ages ago.
Yeah. So I think based on the amount of transfer action that Tottenham have had, I think they're going to finish third. I think they're still obviously bringing in so many players and so many players that will probably start. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a bit of gelling time, and I remember this with Chelsea when we first signed like Havertz, Timo. There was a lot going on, and it was great. The squad looked stacked on paper, but just functionally didn't work too well early in the season. But then it came good. Like after Christmas, we were incredible. So it's one of those things, and that's why I've got my boys second. I know that burns you a little bit because you think there's absolutely no chance.
I highly think Chelsea are a great team.
I think we were good. Like I think last season we were good. I don't think we were amazing. I think we just needed to be refined at the back, and I think we're very close to doing that. Obviously, signing Koulibaly is massive, and it's been on the cards for a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like if him and Thiago Silva can create a good partnership together, it'd be the perfect replacement for Rudiger. To be honest, I'm kind of hopeful that he's actually better than Rudiger, but Rudiger was incredible the last couple of seasons, so it's hard to knock. Sterling adding to that as well. I'm still unsure about him. I think he's gonna be an incredible asset regardless. I think it's just going to be whether he can take the place of other players that are younger than him, and that you can probably get more longevity out of. And then I think Liverpool are going to take the top spot. I don't think there's much that can stop them. They're like, in the... Well, and we'll get to it quickly soon when we talk about City and Liverpool in the Community Shield.
Yeah.
But I think they still look like they've just got this level and another gear to find. And it's just going to be very hard to beat. And the fact that so many of their good players, like Trent, for example, are still so young.
I know. Wait, actually, how old is he? Got to see that. But yeah, I think that's a good top four. I think the only one I'm a bit questioned on your list is Tottenham because, again... Like, I'll say my thing. I just want to see how old Trent, what's his name?
You say yours, I can find out how old Trent is if you like.
No, I'm almost there. Liverpool, here we go. I'm on Wikipedia, the best source. Where is it? Trent Alexander. Wait, why is his number 60? Wait, was he number 66?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Bro, he is so young.
Yeah.
He's played 161 times for Liverpool, scored 10 goals. He's only 23.
Huge. Like, how insane is that?
23. That just shows you modern day football is really good if you get your career start early. Like Kimpembe, again, one of those players that's won like every league.
How old was he when he debuted, if you still got it there? I think it was 17.
Trent. 2016, his debut.
6 years ago, 17, yeah.
Yeah, young kid, man.
Crazy, right? Like, that's insane.
He's done well for himself.
Yeah, great, brilliant player. And that goal he scored the other day. Anyway, we'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah. Look, I think when it comes to EPL predictions, and again, this is our fantasy Premier League, like people always highlight the teams with the player signings or the big stars, and it's like, go to good, we're going to do good. As much as I love Chelsea in a sense of like, of course, for you, and I think, the past for Zola's and all these players have had, I just don't think Tuchel has this gelled team together. I just don't think there's no camaraderie. There's no team effort. I think there's still a lot of heads, deciding who's going to go where, what's going to happen. And I'm watching some of the Chelsea games in pre-season and even last year. Like players like Havertz, he still hasn't gelled in. Lukaku's already left. And I think there's going to be... sorry?
Thank God. Thank God.
Oh, yeah. But I just think there's always issues with goalkeepers, and now they're signing a new kid this morning from Chicago. I don't know. I just feel like there's still an unclear, similar to what United is, still an unclear sort of regime for the whole club. Yeah. I feel like Chelsea has always, like we said the other day, they have so many players, they just never have the right amount. Like players like Callum Hudson-Odoi and Loftus-Cheek are still there. If they were any other club, they would have gone on and played elsewhere. I just feel like they're just being knocked back. There's always good players being knocked back.
It's a hard one. I feel like those players are like...
another player, is going to get knocked back now with new signings.
Yeah, but they're there or thereabouts. Like, they're not... I feel like they're not that far off.
And these are the type of players that will play at clubs like United, Arsenal, even City, like a Foden. Like, you have great stars, young kids, but just don't get enough game time because they get replaced by imports.
That's true. Look, they don't get enough game time. But this is the thing: how do you compete when they've got the cash to spend and the money to sign big players?
Well, they did lose the big money bags because of the war and stuff, and the bad things that gentleman has done.
But Bowley seems to be doing a great job. They're signing big players.
Is it the Red Sox? No. Who's the new owners?
Yeah, I think it's Red Sox, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think there's a whole. That's actually a good discussion. Ownerships of football because there's a whole new world of that coming through. So I think Chelsea won't make it, but Arsenal for me will be top four.
Yep.
I think fourth more so, not because of that meme, they're always top four, but I think Arsenal is on the rebuild. They've got a great signing in Jesus and even Zinchenko. I think Jesus for an Arsenal supporter is someone they can sort of get behind. He's got that sort of, not egotistical, but he's a player's player in a sense that he plays for the shirt. When he was at Man City, he did a great job. And I just think that after what they had with Lacazette and Aubameyang, I think they've got someone there, and hopefully Saka can gel with him, and there's a few youngsters at that club. So I think Arsenal could do good. Arteta, I think he's just one of those coaches that needs time, so hopefully see what happens there. Although they give time to coaches like Lampard, I think Arteta is one of those coaches that always gets... because he's one of the top 5, top 6 teams, he's always going to get pressured.
Of course. It's just, I think that's any coach in those situations, they always try and, cutthroat approach from the start.
I'm hoping to see him do well. Now, the third one is going to be funny for you, but I think United will make top 4 this season.
Really? That's a big call.
I think they're going to do... The only sort of situation I think that will get them to top 4 is if they play the youngsters.
Yep.
There's so many players in that team that really want to make an improvement. Hopefully players like, and a lot of United fans are going to laugh at me, but like there's players like the Zidane, Hannibals, there's also, even Williams, even though he's at Norwich and there was a few good and bad things. There's players out there that really want to push the thing. We never gave chances to Tellers or even Delo, so I'm hoping we see that. Hopefully Wan-Bissaka doesn't play. But, even having the Dutch kid, what's his name? Van der Beek?
Yeah, Donny.
Watched a few highlights of him recently. There's elements of Scholes there. Not the toe sucking, but I'm hoping that he does bring that sort of level-headed with him and Eriksen in the middle. And then, of course, Martial hopefully keeps that sort of form up front. Overall, I think there's a lot of players there that can help the team. There's no egotistical apart from one. So hopefully top 4, if he doesn't play a big role in the squad.
I think what Ten Hag looks like he's producing behind the scenes is ideal. It's perfect for the situation you guys are in.
Yeah.
And I think you've got a young enough squad to believe in that system. And I think he's bringing in a lot of good players that will match that.
Yeah.
So I think, look, I don't expect them. I wouldn't be surprised if they finish top 4. I just think
Missed out by a little bit, but thanks for Ronaldo scoring those last-minute goals. In top 2, this is going to be a tough one, but Man City, Liverpool, either one can win it.
Yep.
I think Man City more because they scored so many goals last season without an upfront player.
Yeah.
Now having Haaland, and hopefully Haaland over time, he's young. He's also 23.
Mm-hmm.
If he can gel, and he's a much more superior striker than most strikers in the Premier League. If he gels in, he'll be fine. Again, this is another discussion. This is a good segue into the next topic. But Liverpool, the only way I see Liverpool making number 1 is if they have no injuries. That club is always destined to have injuries. And not only do I wish anything upon these players, because again, that's a really evil thing to say, but I feel like Liverpool always has that luck, a good luck and bad luck situation where it's like they can only win a season or success if every player is healthy.
I think
Man City's had so many issues and they've always filled in the spot.
Yeah, I think Man City is very much a systematic system. It's very systematic. Like it quite literally, you replace like for like, or you replace someone.
Yeah.
But they all understand that, whether you're, naturally a left back, but you're okay. Sorry, I got to play up, wide on the left today, up top. They know that okay, this is the role. This is what has to be done. I think it's very different for Liverpool. It's a different system, right? It's player that plays that system to the best of their ability. Whereas with City, I think you fit into that mold. And it's just, another cog in the machine.
I know it's rinse and repeat situation with Man City, but if they can do it without an upfront striker and have this system that still scores goals, then you have teams like United who have, prominent players like Ronaldo up front and other players who can score goals and don't score goals.
Yeah.
Just shows you if they can get around a squad and score a goal, it's like chess. If you can make it happen, no matter how ugly you win, they win. But Man City never win ugly. They always win.
It's beautiful football.
They
It's
always
so
win.
nice.
And the goal. And look, don't get me wrong, Liverpool play great football on their days, but I just don't think they have the mentality over Man City.
I think it's a very I love the fact that how different they are, but how good they both are.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we've been blessed with for the last, I think, 3 or 4 years. That they've both played such nice football. And I feel like it's almost getting better each year too, which is still mind-blowing.
Do you have a dark horse for the season?
Dark horse?
Like someone's going to impress us?
Well, I was expecting Newcastle to go hard in the window, but I didn't think they did. They went hard enough.
Nah.
Dark horse is a good one. I don't know.
I'll go quickly.
Yeah,
Forest.
Forest?
Good to see him back there.
Yeah.
Horrible kits to make the return. I'm just excited. I got Dean Henderson goals. But I think overall, I just think that it's good to see Forest back in the Prem.
Who else? I think I was kind of, for nostalgic reasons, I was hoping that Newcastle went big on the signings and sort of rebuilt their whole, everything basically. But I don't see them doing that. I think Leicester are kind of on the decline. I don't know who else is going to be there or thereabouts. Maybe Villa. Maybe Villa might surprise us. Stevie G might pull some more strings. I know.
Yeah, sign a few players.
When did he come in? Did he come in before the start of last season or during last season?
I'm not sure. I
can't remember. But I think now he's had enough time to implement what he wants to implement, and now we'll see the fruits of it.
We haven't put a timer, so I don't know how long we've spoken about. We've got 2 more topics. Let's finish off the Haaland and Nunes. I know both of us haven't really watched these players either in the Portuguese league or in the Bundesliga, but we know of them.
Yeah.
I'll say quickly, the prices, 60 million euro for Haaland, 75 million for Nunes for euros.
Yep.
Overall, player-wise, I think Haaland's more bang for buck.
Yeah.
Nunes, great player. Haaland, great player. But I think Haaland just has a lot more to offer in a sense of like off and on the field for the club.
Yeah.
So even when he's not going to be prominent in front of the goals, he still will change the way of play. he can drop back
Yeah.
and let someone else smaller go up front.
And that's that's like we said just then about City's system. That'll be sort of a blessing in disguise, I guess. The fact that if he slots into that system nicely, they don't need to play a false 9. They can play an actual number 9 that can disappear and allow someone else to drop in.
He's got a connection to the club too with his dad.
Yeah, I like that.
Which is
That's nice.
amazing to think that it's come around now.
Yeah.
Nunes, again, United were after him, so I did my research on him back in the day. So I was always a bit like, I hope we get him.
Yeah.
But overall, I just don't know what's going to happen with him. He'll do well. I think he'll score a few goals, maybe 10 to 20 at max between there. But overall, I just don't think he's as a prominent player as Haaland.
I think he got a pretty good rap after the Community Shield game. I don't know, haven't been impressed enough with him yet. And I think what made me laugh was, I think Rui Costa released a presser after he signed for Liverpool, or after the transfer had been confirmed. And I think they were expecting around a 45 million euro offer for Darwin Núñez.
Yeah.
And then Liverpool came in with a 75. And from all reports, that they were just sitting in the boardroom laughing. They're like, you can't be serious. Like, this is not what we thought he was worth. And I think that sort of stimulated the whole, he's not as good as what he actually is supposed to be. I think verdict's still out on him. I think Haaland's got a lot more media attention. He's got a lot more exposure globally. So I think there's a lot more belief in him being able to reproduce good quality football.
And I don't think the media will get to him. Well, I think Núñez is a bit
I think he's such a cool guy.
Yeah. Did you see what he went? I think it was the Daily Paper or someone did a whole report on what he bought at the shops.
Yeah.
And then the other day he tweeted saying, "Hey, don't tell the newspaper, but I bought this for $13 or something." And it's just like, it's good to see him.
I like that he seems like a normal guy. Like, because you think about it, right? Like, okay, there's your Messi's, Neymar's, and Mbappe's, Ronaldo. There's all these like high profile guys, and he's probably in that cusp. Like, is there or thereabouts? But he seems like he's just lapping it up. Like, I feel like he would be the best guy to hang out with at the club.
100%. And look, it hurts me to say it. Like, he's a City player, and there was always rumours of him going to United. I never thought that after what Keane did to his dad.
No.
But I'm excited to see Sancho versus Haaland in the derby.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Do you know that meme of Cellini and someone when he does that? Let's hope the sound effects. Have you seen that meme? I still don't know.
It's Juventus. I think it's like a free kick or something, and then he's making the noises.
or that other meme where it's like Müller and Lewandowski and they look at each other. It's like evil or something.
They're dubbed.
I think it was like that.
Yeah.
Few shots. So I can't wait to see that. All right, let's finish off. So you've got this having a nice. Tell us about this because I don't know much about this. And then that's about it for today.
So nice or Nice are having a nice. That's very tongue twisting
nice.
and confusing. Aaron Ramsey, big signing.
Yeah.
I think for the club, like I know he's been, I think he was at Juventus the last few years.
He terminated his contract.
Yeah, which was...
I thought Rangers on loan last year.
Yes, that's right, went to Rangers. Amazing player still. I have no doubt that he's incredible. I think he was one player that... I think he shouldn't have left Arsenal.
What's the rumour where if Aaron Ramsey scored, someone died?
Yeah, I think it was for a bit. That was really messed up. But
literally every time he scored, someone died.
Yeah, so
again, everyone dies every day.
So someone isn't having a niece or a nice, or whatever you want to have. But then the latest rumour is Caspar Schmeichel.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in that.
Yes, club captain and potentially on the way out.
Yeah, look, I think it's a good thing for him to go over there and come back to the Prem.
Yep.
Hopefully, mate. I know he went to City, and of course, Schmeichel did go to City, his father.
Yep.
Wouldn't it be nice to see him back at United in the future? I know he's a great keeper, but he's not like top 4 keeper. But if he has a nice, comes back to the Prem, I'd love to see him at United.
I guess, like say for whatever reason something happens to De Gea.
Well, Dean Henderson's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
So
that was meant to be our backup. We ruined the whole year of him.
If you get to January and you're desperate for a keeper.
Not even January, next year. Like, I'm sure we can survive with whoever got in the back. I can't remember his name. Former Tom Heaton. I can't remember.
Yes.
But if he was to go 2 seasons, come back, De Gea's like, I'm 29, 30 now. I need to go elsewhere. Yeah. Takes over Courtois. Courtois goes somewhere else, like Juventus or something.
Excuse me. What makes you leave a club when you're a captain and you've had a very
Caspar?
good few years?
Probably just tenacity to be a bit more vocal in the club, and maybe the bosses and people up top are not happy with him. Again, we don't know what happens behind the scenes. I see things in the A-League, not just City, but across the A-League, that never emulates on the pitch. It is what it is, and you hear all these rumours about players signing, but it never happens, you get me? Yeah. So it could be a rumour just to make interest. To
be honest, this is kind of what stimulated my concerns about Leicester being on the decline. Like, I think for a club captain to leave out of the blue... I don't know, it stinks for me. Like, it smells like there's something wrong, something's going on.
Well, Vardy's still there.
Vardy's still there. James Maddison's there. I think there's been a lot of offers for him.
Yeah.
And I think someone threw I think it was like a $40 million offer. Dollar. I said dollar. It could be pounds.
Yeah. What about
Pounds,
Fofana? Isn't he going to Chelsea?
Yes, apparently, which is
Yeah.
going to be huge.
There's so many. Look again.
And Cucurella apparently as well.
Yeah.
Like that is a lot.
It could be a lot of just clean out. Again, that's what happens when clubs, don't really balance the books.
Yeah.
Who else is signing at Nice? I know I had him on my list. I took
No, that's right. Well, not signing. I know that they've already got Morgan Schneiderlin and Lilian Thuram's son. I want to say Kefren. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But like, I think their squad's shaping up pretty nicely,
I forgot about him.
pretty nicely. Yeah, very impressed by that transfer window.
Yeah, Schneiderlin, he just went to United after Southampton, went to it's just disappeared. That's sad to see a player like that. He was really exciting.
He was a good player.
But overall, look, I think the Prem this season, all the signings, everything has happened. It's going to be a massive year for football.
Huge.
Last season was pretty good across the world post-pandemic. I think it was really exciting to see that level of fans bringing back the energy to football.
So good.
But overall, I think, I'm excited. We should definitely look at other leagues maybe next episode and discuss that.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that's pretty good.
It's been good, man. It's a good episode. It's good to be back.
Lots. We might take a break next week, so you won't hear from us. I know we're going to record a second episode, but we'll probably got too much on. So definitely enjoy this episode next week, and then we'll be back the week after. Make sure if you are watching this on Spotify or on YouTube to comment on either socials. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about. If you do come down to Ultra, there's a lot of new stock. There's a lot of new kits and boots pop up.
Yes, 14th of August. So we're back here at Panenka, obviously the front of Ultra
Sunday?
Football. Yes, Sunday the 14th of August.
And it's Premier League theme or
just leagues in general. So we're gonna put all the World Cup kits and international kits on the sidelines for this one. And we're gonna go kits from the big leagues. So you got English, French, Spanish, German, Italian, and Dutch.
I'm going to make a shout out. If you do have kits at home that you want to get rid of, like, message Paul.
Yeah,
Because
hit
a
me up.
lot of people come up to us and talk to us like, hey, I've got all this kit collection. Like, come down with them.
Yeah,
have a look at them. Like,
Definitely.
at the end of the day, there's going to be so many kits there. So, I might buy them.
Yeah. Oh, look, to be honest with you, like one guy came up to me at the last pop-up.
Was it the one I introduced you?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And he said he had over 400 kits that he wanted to sell. And I was
Jeez,
like,
I thought my wife let
that
me
is
buy them.
impressive. I think, like, good thing is, for me, one of the like good foundations of PFC was the fact that we opened up Marketplace.
Do you remember the first time we bought a whole lot of kits?
Oh man, that was
When you
so
drove into the
I backed
car?
into another car. That was not fun.
That was a great waste. But yeah, look, make sure 14th of August.
Yeah, get down. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a few things going on.
And yeah, look, we're looking forward to it. Stay safe. Stay away from stupid people.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.